All right, guys, so this is the first website project that we're going to create, and it's basically a landing page for an app, and the app is called Clipboard, but of course you could use this for whatever. If you create an app and you want to have a little landing page for it, this is a nice looking, clean page. So basically we have at the top just this hero part here with a background image, which is going to be a separate image for mobile versus desktop, and I'll show you the mobile version in a second. Then we have the logo. We have some nice clean looking buttons to download the app. We have some text here, an image with some features. Down here we have some more text and images, and then this part here with these items, which are going to be in a Flexbox row on bigger screens, but it'll be a column on smaller screens. Same with these logos here. We have another kind of call to action at the bottom, and then we have our footer. And if we make this smaller, you'll see that everything just stacks on top of each other. So I think it's a nice first project. There's no like menu or anything, but I think that it's going to give you a good foundation in creating a bigger project than what we've been doing. And we're also going to use some directives. We're going to add some custom styles where we use the apply directives and so on, just to keep from repeating ourselves when we have the same big batch of classes for certain elements. All right, so that's it. Let's go ahead and get started. All right, so we're going to start on the Clipboard project. Now, I know that some of you may have skipped the sandbox and the mini project, so this might be the first one that you're doing. So I just want to mention the Simple Tailwind Starter, which is the starter pack that we created a few videos ago, and it just allows us to build Tailwind projects in a pretty simple environment. And you just need to run npm install. So you can clone it or download it from here, npm install, and then npm run watch. And then I also have the Tailwind course projects. This is all the final projects, along with all the assets, basically just all the images and SVGs. Okay, and I have the final version of this project open as well, so we can just reference it. And I have those two folders on my desktop, the starter kit and all the assets. And then what we're going to do is just create a new folder for our projects. So I'll just call this, call it website projects. I'm going to keep it separate from the mini projects we did. And then in here, let's go ahead and just copy the simple Tailwind starter and paste that in here. So this will basically be the process for all the future projects. And then we can just rename this. I'm just going to call it, just call it Clipboard. I might change it later on. So this is what we're going to open now in VS Code or whatever text editor you're using. And we do want to bring in the images. So that's going to be in here and all project assets and then Clipboard. So this images file, I'm going to bring that or copy that into the main, the root folder here. So we'll say copy folder. All right, and then in the images folder, you'll see that there's a bunch of stuff. We have like the background, header images, these, and then there's also the SVG icons. Now, I do want to mention this. If you're building a production website, I would suggest putting the SVGs directly in the HTML file. Just because it can hinder performance if you're loading them in an image tag with the source attribute, but that's what we're going to do in this course because I don't want to have the file overloaded with all these SVGs. I want it to be very organized, so I will be using the image tag to display the SVG icons. All right, so we have that done. Now we do have a little bit of configuration to do as far as screen sizes and colors. So let's go ahead and open up the Tailwind config.js, and right above extend, we're going to set our screen sizes, or I should say like our breakpoints. So for small screens, let's do 480 pixels. Okay, and then for medium, we're going to do 768, and then for large, we'll do 976. And then for extra large, we'll do 1440 pixels. Okay, so those are going to be our screen sizes. And then for the colors that we're going to use, we want to go into extends and then create a colors object. And I'm just going to grab these. I'm going to copy and paste them in because they're all HSL values, so I don't want to type those all out. But we have a strong cyan, a light blue, a dark grayish blue, and a grayish blue. So that's going to be just the colors all around here. All right, so the cyan, the blue, and so on. And of course, you could use just regular Tailwind classes, color classes, but if you want to have custom colors, then this is what you do. And then the font we're going to be using is called Bijamjari. So in the extend right under the colors, let's put a comma here, and let's say font family. And we're going to create the sans stack here, and the font we want is called BAI Jamjari, right? Yeah, 2 E's at the end. All right, and then we'll just say sans-serif. So in order to use that font, we do have to bring it into our index.html. In fact, let's run this now. I'm going to just open up my terminal, and you can use the integrated terminal if you're using VS Code, or just your regular Mac, Windows, whatever terminal. And then we can run npm run watch. Okay, and then we're just going to open this index.html with live server, and we should see this. Okay, now the font hasn't taken effect because we do have to get that from Google Fonts, so let's do that. I'm going to go to Google Fonts, and I'm just going to clear that up. And then the font we want, we can just type in BAI, and we should see it, yeah, right here. And we're going to grab the 400 regular, so select the style, and then the 600 semi-bold. And then we can just grab this link. So we just want to copy that, and then we can paste that in here. We'll go right above the style sheet, paste that in, and then you should see your font change. Okay, so I think that we're ready to go. In the next video, we're going to start basically just, top to bottom. Start with the hero image here, or hero part with the background image and so on, and just work our way down. And I'm just going to move this over here. We can close these tabs up. All right, so I'll see you in the next video.